we go. Danny, you're gonna have to write an intro for this one. One time working for Streamlabs, the whole thing fucked up.
Oh my
Who
god!
is Zane?
All right, we're live. I think. Is it working?
I think.
I don't know.
It looks like it's streaming something.
Oh,
I think it's
painful.
for the music. It's on a delay.
It should be. Yeah, it's delayed. Definitely.
So I just see our logo now.
Okay, yeah, it's probably like 20 seconds behind.
Yeah.
Welcome to Alien Theorists Theorizing. Case
There it
file 1. Psych Power Hour.
Woo!
I'm Braden.
I'm Zell.
I'm Dan.
And Andrew.
All right.
Jesus.
So if you've been listening, we were going to record 107, 5G,
5G,
but through no fault of our own, all Zell's, it's not working. Instead, we killed an hour and a half trying to get it set up, and now we're doing a power hour instead.
It wasn't an hour and a half, but oh yeah, it was an hour and a half.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Because we're already here. We got the conspiracy juices flowing. We might as well just.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me explain what happened here. So this isn't my fault. We were using OBS Studios.
Hold on. I love how you're standing up and you got your hands on your hip right now. I wish you were just go, well, let me tell you.
Let me tell you
me
something.
tell you
You're looking for a
something,
manager right
brother.
now.
I'm also got this brand new stress mat or
Need
relief
to
mat.
talk to OBS manager.
Oh, you're gonna watch. It's got little Goku footsteps just pitter pattered into it, eh?
Okay, let me tell you.
Stress.
Tell me the story about Streamlabs here. So we're starting to stream the show. I was using just regular OBS, and then I found out it was OBS or Streamlabs OBS, which is like a simplified, more streamlined version of the software, but everything the same as I thought. After I get everything set up, spent like 3 hours today getting the whole thing set up. It was working. The one feature we need to run the show is not available on Streamlabs OBS, just on OBS. And it took me about 45 minutes with this Zane employee for them to finally tell me.
Zane.
I asked them.
If that is your real name.
The first question I asked was, where is the NDI output on Streamlabs? I can't find it. This is where it is on regular OBS. Can you find let me know where it is? There's like restart. Oh, click the gear settings. I was like, okay, it's not in there. Let's cut it. And eventually she probably asked everyone in the office, and someone's like, we don't even have that service. She's like, or was it he? Right? I don't know. It doesn't matter. He comes back. Yeah, we don't offer NDI output on Streamlabs OBS. I was like, that's the very first question I asked. 45 minutes. It was unbelievable.
You could cut the tension here on
It was
with a
frustrating.
knife. I was like, ooh.
It was annoying as fuck. So I got really baked after, and now I feel great. Now we're just sitting here talking about how shitty that was.
All right.
But
Andrew, you told me let's start the show off with a little friend of. You know what? Fuck it. With this power hour, let's do something different. Let's do some space news.
do a space news on a fuck power hour. Let's do it. Here it comes.
Sure, I kinda
No
let
theme
it
song
up.
though. Fuck the theme song.
No,
I don't
too
wanna
late.
Fucking around with that on a
Cut it.
power hour.
Cut it.
No,
Cut
no,
it.
no.
Just
Oh,
fucking cut it.
Cut that bullshit.
Cut it.
This is the raw cut.
Wrong. No edits. No edits. We're going right to space news. So we talked about those fast burst radio waves getting picked up months ago. Couple days ago, they got some weird repeating signals from space. Several of them. Those fast radio bursts. Then, even cooler, yesterday, they're repeating faster from the same source all of a sudden.
How fast?
Wow, that is way cooler.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's like this. So they're detecting them. They start to detect them. And now it's like, oh, shit, we're being detected. Beep, 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 beep. That's what I think.
Like they're flicking it on and off real quick?
On and off real quick. Boop, 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 boop. They're really good. But anyways, everyone's really excited about it. And this is a Canadian thing, right? It's the same. It's all a lot of people in a Soyuz and stuff are leading the charge on these. So, pretty interesting stuff right now. The other thing I read today is that America and China are in a race for space leadership. So another space race.
Another space race. Space Race 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Who can get fucking rail guns in space first.
Yeah.
What?
Because this is
No, you
quick
don't need
spaces.
rail guns. It's gonna be their mass accelerators.
Is that
Well, I read that they want to send up like nuclear reactors into space.
There's one thing I saw that about Mars where they said they want to send in like prefab nuclear reactors on Mars.
Good.
I know I read about that, but
It's the most.
Not sure.
There's been that big thing too where it's like nuke Mars recently. Like
Yeah.
Elon Musk's like nuke Mars. Let's make it
nuke
happen.
Mars to melt, to melt or release the methane that's trapped in the ice caps.
Yeah,
then
and people
produce a type of atmosphere and warm up Mars because Mars is cold. It's just
people
cold.
like, well, don't nuke Mars.
Mars don't care. Mars
Yeah,
don't
I'm
give
like,
a fuck.
what? There's nothing there.
It's the
fucking
it's the
glass.
red planet. It's the god of war. He probably likes nukes.
Glass it.
So super cool.
Into
Nuke the
space news. I don't
shit.
want to talk about any more space news.
I just almost spilled beer on my.
Space isn't
Keyboard.
that cool.
But yeah, space is over.
That would have been great.
Yeah, would have been
And you
great.
you told me before you got a good friend of a friend story.
Well, disclaimer, it's fucking gross. So whoever got mad at
fucking
me for talking
gross.
about gross. Are you surprised though? Like when you hear somebody that's going to be talking about a story that involves emergency medical services, it's usually most of the time it's going to be gross. So I don't know.
Gross.
Do I have to make that disclaimer?
You shouldn't.
I wish
have
we
to.
should. I wish we had like a Mr. Rogers theme intro for it.
Well, we do have a cool one, but we haven't
Oh.
used it yet.
You know what? I haven't. I found a copy of it too, Zell.
Which one?
Mongoose Files. Yeah,
Of
I found
Mongoose
the
Files?
original. Yeah. So I'll send it to you.
Send it to me. We play it live.
I can thank Colberry for that. That song fucking rips. Okay, so this is gonna be a little bit. Before I tell about. Okay, let's go back to the beginning here. Obviously,
Restart. Yep.
this happened to a friend of mine, right?
Obviously.
Obvious.
But for the story, I'm gonna have to put myself in that situation. You know what I mean? It's gonna sound like I was there, but obviously I wasn't there.
You weren't there.
I wasn't there. I definitely wasn't there. Okay, so we're gonna go into the story. I'm gonna have to backtrack about 6 years, and I'll bring it back to 3 days ago. Okay,
Okay.
so
Strap in, folks. Lord
Yeah,
of the Rings
so we're
Part
on-
1 coming up.
right, we're time traveling here. It's Endgame. So let's bring it back to 2 years into my career as a paramedic. You know what I mean? 2 years in, I'm feeling pretty confident. I've been doing this for a while. You know what I mean? I've seen a few things. Get a routine call for a adult male in distress. No other information. That just comes up. Usually we get a nice little description. Hey, this is what's going on. This is the problem. Whatever comes in. Adult male in distress. Possible psych, which means this may be a psychiatric, right? So at this time, I'm still working in a relatively rural community. Not very big. One stoplight, hillbilly kind of stuff. Banjo. So long commute. We're going past an area. There's no cell service. All that's out there is a couple scattered cabins and a small trailer park. Go to the trailer park. Probably about 5 or 6 trailers there. It's pretty desolate, super quiet. You know what I mean? And check out the address during the day. Nothing too crazy. You know what I mean? Pretty routine. Got my little kit, stroll up to the door, bang on the door. And this really old lady answers the door. And when I mean really old, I mean mid-70s, early 80s. And she's like, oh, thank God you're here. My son, he's having an issue. He's locked himself in the bedroom. We need your guys' help. And right away, I'm kind of like, well, this lady's 80 years old. Son's still living with him. Probably something kind of weird here, right? You kind of get that. Your spider sense is a little bit tingling, right?
Tingly.
Mongoose sense is tingling. So I'm like, okay. And as I'm walking into this lady's house,
Your friend has mongoose senses too.
obviously, yes,
100%.
Yeah, it's an EMS thing. We're all embody the mongoose.
All a little bit mongoose.
Not a Lebanese mongoose, just a mongoose. Okay,
Yeah.
It's different. So mongoose sense is tingling, but you know what I mean. Like a tactic you usually get is when you're on your way to go see your patient, you start picking the brain of, you know what I mean, whoever, family member, whoever's at the scene, and kind of get an idea so you're not really caught off guard. So I'm kind of asking him, so what's going on tonight? What kind of distress is he in? Has he hurt himself? Is there any reason we should be concerned? And she says, well, the only thing you need to be concerned with is he disobeyed the Lord. And I'm like,
What?
pardon me, sorry? She's like, he disobeyed the Lord yesterday. And I'm like, okay, so like, is he hurt? She says, oh yes, he's very deeply hurt, as any good God-fearing, citizen would be. And then she turns around to me. She's like, are you a God-fearing citizen? And I'm, you know what I mean? Like,
God-fearing citizen?
yeah, God-fearing citizen. And I'm like, kind of like, this is fucking weird. So I'm kind of like, yeah, oh, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? Fucking 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I kind of wanted to be like, assalamu alaikum, but I didn't. But I was like, okay, yeah, of course. Like, great, wonderful. So she's like, oh, good. And then we're walking to this room. And as we're walking, you kind of see these like little drops of blood on the ground, right? And she's leading me to the back. It's a double wide. It's a big trailer. And you can see all the weird crosses and all that kind of shit, right? Like, it's super... The person who told me the story was very descriptive. And we're walking by the bathroom, and it's just fucking like at least a pint of blood just on the ground, right? So I'm like, okay. Heart starts beating a little bit, and I'm like, okay, something's fucking wrong here. So I'm like, where is he, ma'am? Like, something's going on here. Like, did you know about this? She's like, oh yes, I knew about it, and he deserved it. And I'm like,
He deserved it?
so I'm like, so I go on my shoulder mic. I'm like, can we get the fives, the cops here? We'll get them here, code 3. She's like, who are the fives? I'm like, oh, just we need some backup. That's fine. Like, no big deal. Just some friends. And I'm kind of yelling out to be like, hello, like, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Like, you know what I mean? And I hear some screaming coming from the bedroom. So I'm like, sir, you need to open the door right now. And he's kind of like, I can't. I deserve this. Don't come in. Do not come in. I deserve this. And I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. So I'm kind of doing my judgment call here. There's blood everywhere. Did this guy use a weapon, hurt himself? Either way, I need to get in that room. I looked at my partner. I'm like, any issues with me kicking down the door? And they're like, the nearest backup's at least 2 hours away. So you're going to have to. So I'm like, okay, great. Pop the door.
One kick?
No, God, no, I wish. Actually, yeah. Fuck yeah. It was
One kick, straight through.
Okay.
Fuck yeah. So
Sure was 2 kick.
it was probably about 4 or 5. But, so door pops. It's not as easy as you'd think it is. Door pops. I go in, and there's kind of like the room's all black. There's fucking candles lit. It's kind of spooky. And there's a guy with his back to the door, and he's all crouched over, right? And he's kind of holding his stomach, and you can see just blood pouring out from behind, right? So I'm like, I'm coming in, man. Like, you're safe. I'm just here to help. Like, we need to stop that bleeding. Whatever's bleeding, we need to stop that bleeding. And he's like, you can't. And I'm like, just, calm down. So my partner runs up and grabs me some bandages, an abdo pad. So I go over there, and I'm like, try to kind of have an idea of what's going on. And I'm like, you know what I mean? And he's still curled up in that ball, and I'm trying to find the bleed, and he's kind of pushing me away. And I'm like, fuck, like, told my partner, I'm like, we need to restrain him. We need to stop this bleed because there's blood pouring out of him, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, trying to pick up his shirt, and I'm not seeing where the bleed's coming up. I cut open his shirt. He's on the ground now, and he's kind of wrestling back, but you can tell he's like starting to go pretty pale. Like he's been bleeding for a while. And I don't find the wound, so I kind of go downwards, and it's coming from his pants, right? His shirt was soaked, but his pants were even worse. So, you know what I mean? I start slicing his pants, pull open his pants. I'm like, did this guy slices femoral artery? Did he, know what I mean? If that's the case, he's going to fucking go soon. Like, he's going to exsanguinate.
Exsanguinate?
He's going to bleed out.
That's what you call it?
Yeah.
Exsanguinate.
Like, that's like completely bleeding out. But anyways, so I'm like looking, femoral's good. And then I kind of like, because you see a lot of naked people. You see a lot of dicks. You see a lot of stuff you don't want to see.
Yep.
So I automatically kind of like, my eyes kind of go away from those areas, right? So obviously, like, I think I was just trying to avoid it. And then I kind of go back, and I'm like, there's something there that's probably supposed to be there that's not there. And he's like, I cut it off. And I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean you cut it off? He's like, I fucking cut it off.
No.
Right? So we fucking throw a bandage on it, get him in the ambulance. And I'm telling my partner, I'm like, oh, we should find that fucking dick. Like, if you can find that dick, get that dick on ice. Maybe they can reattach it. You know what I mean? That's what we do. When we find, extremities and stuff like that, we try to bring them. We always bring them with us, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, find the dick. We get him loaded in, and I'm like, I look back at my partner. I'm like, do you have his dick? And he's like, I can't find his fucking dick. So I'm like, what the fuck, right? So we're like, I'm sorry, man. Like, we can't find your dick. He's like, I don't deserve my dick. I'm like, okay, it's fine. Go flying in the hospital. Guy ends up getting transferred to another hospital. Pretty big deal. Our job ends there. I don't find anything. But I'm kind of shook. I'm like, I've never seen anything like that, right? Like, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
So I'm back at home right now. I've been taking a little bit of time off work, but to kind of stay sharp with my skills, I've been doing, I don't know what you'd call it, I've been in the hospital kind of shadowing the doctors, right? Working on assessment skills, intubation, that kind of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Just kind of being prepared for when I go back.
For dicks.
Well, exactly. You don't want to get caught off guard by, dickless again. So I'm hanging out with the doctor and I'm
dickless.
and I'm fucking, you know what I mean? I'm like, this is way above my pay grade. You know what I mean? Like, he'll be nice and throw me a little bone and be like, Andrew, what do you think's going on here? You know what I mean? Like, just being a nice guy. I don't fucking know, right? So anyways, paramedics come flying into the emergency room and they're like, Psh, Dr. So-and-so, we need you here, stat, trauma bay 3. We'll get you here right away. I'm like, okay, yeah. And he's like, let's go. We got a trauma. Don't really have much. It's a lower extremity bleed. I'm like, okay. Waiting for them. Paramedics bring him in. We're like, student do male, cut off his penis.
Cut off his penis.
You know what I mean? So I'm like,
Yeah.
how am I seeing this twice? How about, you know what I mean? This is weird. Like, there's people that go their entire career without seeing this shit. And the doctor, first thing he does, he looks at the paramedics and he's like, did you guys bring the dick with you? And they're like, we couldn't find his fucking dick. Well, turns out
He didn't.
we found the original gentleman's dick when they x-rayed his abdomen.
Get.
And I'm in
Ate it?
and I'm in a room. Now, this is a couple days ago. I'm in a room with a bunch of fucking trained professional doctors, like badasses. And they're like, they're like, where's his dick? And the paramedic's like, I don't know. And I'm like, we should get an x-ray of his stomach, stat. And everybody kind of looked at me being like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Yeah, look, who's this fucking
guy?
dick
This
eater
is fucking,
here?
is that the first thing that comes to your mind? I'm like, gave him one of those. They x-rayed his stomach. Guess where his dick was.
Get out. That's fucking
Isn't that
crazy.
fucking weird?
Crazy.
I know. I thought that's just so fucking strange. Gross. Strange.
Was it a one bite brownie kind of thing?
Oh, yeah. Well, think about it. Think about what you're doing to yourself, right?
Brownie.
Think about the trauma that you've been going in. And, like, I so much as stub my toe and I fucking, like, a turtle head just, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, defense mode just sucks in.
Yeah, little cheese puff.
Can you imagine, like, trying to stretch that thing out and cut it off? The whole time would be like, no. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Just naturally
retract it.
trying to get away.
Yeah. Like, ugh. Anyways.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it was pretty
Gotta
weird.
say.
Turns out the first guy, his mom told him to do it.
Oh,
Isn't that weird? Isn't that fucking weird?
some weird people out there, man.
I know, man. But you know
like
what? That's fucking job security. I have a job because people are weird and
Yeah, people
dumb.
cutting dicks.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. That pays the bills.
The other question I wanted to ask you, we just talked about Epstein, but now, obviously, since we've talked about it the first time, autopsy results came out. Autopsy report found death by suicide.
course.
Interesting to me, broken bones in the neck.
Yeah.
That do happen. I read that do happen with hanging, but more in line with strangulation. What do you know about that, Andrew?
Well, it's not necessarily just the fact that it's a broken neck. It's the fact that the hyoid bone was broken.
Which one? What bone is that?
It's like the go-to for strangulation fucking deaths. Like that's one of our like giant red flags.
Oh.
Right.
Now,
But there has been evidence of it being, has been evidence of it happening from fucking hangings. But those are usually like traumatic. Like those are usually
Drop
you know,
hang.
big
Like-
drop, right? And that would not have happened in that jail cell. You would think.
No,
right?
he would have had what, like clothes and sheets or something, like.
Well, and like think about it. Like how tall was Epstein? You know what I mean? Like I can't see. there being-
or that giant motherfucker cellmate just crunched the life out of him with one
yeah,
hand.
we never
exactly
talked
what
about his
happened.
cellmate. Holy shit!
he
that guy's
also-
huge.
I gotta pull up a pic of this guy. This is insane. This
He
dude.
also didn't have his neck wasn't stretched at all either. That is usually indicative of fucking hangings, which you know what I mean. It's fishy as fuck.
Man, now the other thing coming out that just came out, I read today, he re-signed his will 2 days before he died. Like to me, I'm like, man, that's
Well, he must have known he was
That's
going.
fishy.
He was going to be a fucking target in jail.
Oh.
All fucking pedos are. All pedos are fucking targets in jail.
But I'm thinking like you're gonna kill yourself. Like like you're like, you know what? I'm gonna kill myself, but I'm just gonna make sure everything that I deal with is all squared away how I want it today, and sign my will, all this stuff. You think if you'd be like, you think that'd be the last thing in your mind? You're like, my first thing on mind is how do I kill myself in this cell?
I think it would be because he'd want to go out on his own terms. Because I feel like Epstein's the kind of guy who, because this is you think about this dude.
How come he didn't leave a note?
No, because he wanted. Why would he? Why would
I
he
don't
leave
think
a
he
note?
needed to.
Okay, look at
Think about this guy. It's all about control. If you think about like in the cases that are coming against him, like he had the one girl that they had conditioned into a sex slave. It's all about control. And if you're taking control away from him, the only thing that he can control last is taking his own life. He's gonna I'm gonna go out on my own terms. I'm gonna sign over my will to my brother and whatever, and that's my last kind of fu to everybody. And like I control when I go out, and I'm done.
Hey, but look at this cellmate.
Holy
But
fuck.
that wasn't it. That was his cellmate before, and they took him out.
Oh, is that what it
They
was?
didn't put him back in with him.
So who was in the room with them?
If that guy was in the same jail, no one's safe. He's just gonna bend the bars. You see that guy's animal.
They took him out of it. He was his previous cellmate, but when they found Epstein unconscious the first time, they took him out.
How can you put that guy? I read
Guy's
he's
a
an
fucking
ex-cop
monster
who murdered 4 people. I imagine with his bare hands, because look at him. Like why would you ever put this guy with that? Like, why would you put the two of them together? It seems like an ill fit. Like, hello, ex-cop who murdered 4 people with your bare hands.
Right.
This is Jeffrey Epstein, who had a
Diddler.
sex slave.
I don't know. By all accounts,
young
they
women.
said they got along. Like they said they were even friends.
Yeah, I'm sure he had his arm around him. He's like, we get along, right? Huh?
No,
He's like,
we're best
Maybe they
buds.
cut a deal with that guy.
Oh,
Maybe they said,
100%.
hey, if you keep him safe, then maybe we'll cut you a deal.
Oh, buddy, Epstein's like, hey, man, you have my back in here. I'm going to keep your fucking itchy band noodles stocked, dude.
Itchy bands and
Could've been
smokes,
like that.
buddy. Let's
Yeah,
go.
buddy, darts.
yeah,
Fuck,
speed,
itchy band and fucking darts.
steroids as much as you want.
So Dan, you're
I
you're
can
saying
get you twice as big.
Think you're big now.
Yeah.
Dan, is your theory then on Epstein that that's what he organized this whole thing so he could kill himself on his own terms? Is that what you're thinking? Very well
Why
could
not?
be.
Has there been any, have they announced anything that they found on, Rapey Island yet? I knew they were ripping that place
No,
apart.
they haven't.
Not yet.
No.
That's still got to go through processing.
So
I'm sure. Like they just did that last week. Like it's like
Yeah.
How about
You
that
won't hear any-
weird Clinton
well.
picture he had?
Oh, a bill?
Yeah, that's so weird.
Bill in a dress, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
fucking weird.
Oh, I wonder if I can find that.
No,
Where-
it's,
where I
it's
search for it?
definitely some.
Bill.
I was
And
reading
like
some
all the
article
Gale-
about him and about when he met Clinton, and he had like a real kind of weird. I don't know. He kind of had a weird on for Bill Clinton because he considered himself an authority in his his circle, like his financial stuff, but he considered Bill Clinton like the perfect politician. Is what he did. Is the kind of the way he thought about Bill Clinton.
Probably because he had enough dirt on him. Fucking keep him doing what he wanted.
I don't know. He really liked Bill Clinton, and Bill Clinton is an outstanding politician. The dude is whip crack smart, and the dude is really likable. Like for me, I think he's one of the better politicians. Like,
Okay, well,
if you think about
Epstein definitely.
what you want to be, who appeals to a lot of people, like he does all that.
Look at him.
I don't know why you would do that, but that is just really weird. Maybe they lost a bet or something. I don't know. It's fucking weird.
Look at that picture of fucking Clinton in a dress. That was in Epstein's. Is that his New York house or which house was that from? I didn't really read the article.
New York. It says New York home at the bottom of the picture.
Yeah,
Does it?
I want to
Oh, yeah.
know how
Well,
Bill would
obviously-
comment on that. I'd like to hear his comments.
Obviously, old Billy Boy here lost the fucking fantasy football year. He came in last, and that was his punishment.
So he displayed it on his wall in his house for everyone to see.
Yeah.
The other information that's come out since we recorded the podcast is that the jail guards fell asleep. They weren't doing cell check logs, and then they forged the book to say they were doing cell check logs. Basically, everyone in the jail has lawyered up, and no one's talking
No
to
one's
the
saying a
FBI
word.
or assisting them with their
I think
investigation.
somebody's actually losing their position. I think like the head of prisons or something like that for that.
Yeah, right.
Being
He's just-
removed.
Yeah, he's being lateraled to another position.
Yeah,
that's not
exactly.
the limelight right now.
It's really dumb.
It's fucking
The
crazy.
the old forced promotion.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
They call it in government.
Classic.
What else? What else we got? Anything else you guys wanted to talk about? What we talked about Epstein.
I don't know. Is there any questions in the feed? I wasn't watching.
didn't look.
Questions
I didn't
in the.
check.
If there's questions, put them in the YouTube comments.
Okay. There's someone had messaged me about this forest, this like haunted forest.
Which one?
Where was it? Hold on, I'll find it.
Haunted forest?
Yeah,
Sorry,
forest
the
in
jet-
Transylvania.
Oh
It's called
shit!
like the
I
Hoa
think I remember that
Vacu
one.
Forest. Did we talk about that before?
I don't think we've talked
I don't
about it.
I don't
but
remember
think I
talking about
remember
that.
Somebody was in
Forest-
there.
In the forest?
Yeah, somebody went in the forest.
Well, people go in the forest all the time, Andrew.
Andrew's been in the forest once.
That's how your head ends up in a fucking pike, rather than paler style. That's not.
Yeah, if you're in Transylvania, I mean, you're just
I
asking
thought,
for it.
yeah, that's you don't do that.
it.
Oh,
Transylvania.
Okay, here's a weird one too. There was that missing kid up in north of Prince George that was missing for 30 hours.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I didn't think anything of it, right? I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, missing kid, that's terrible. Hopefully he's found.
probably got eaten
But-
by a bear.
Well, I've been reading those missing 411 books. I'm on the third book of 7.
You're like Bigfoot kidnapped him.
No, it's interesting because he talks about, he goes, it's kind of weird. A lot of times it's young children, and normally if they go missing, it's usually to do with one or two things, and one of them is berry picking.
Oh,
You know, whatever, no
Yep.
big deal. So
berry
they
picking.
found this
That's
kid
bears.
who just disappeared. Like his family was like, yeah, we were chilling, and we turned around and he was gone. They couldn't find him for 30 hours. And I mean, like, fuck, he's 4 years old. Like, how fast can you fucking truck away from your family in the forest and like not hear them yelling and
Some
stuff?
fucking
To me, it just
negligence.
seems crazy. Yeah, no.
Barry,
That's some
my
serious
whole thing-
negligence.
wait, I need to go back to the berry picking issue. Like, how many kids are running around like picking? I didn't pick any weird berries.
No,
when I
no,
was-
that's why you never went missing, Dan. But here's the thing.
Was that something you guys did?
I gotta
You
make a
guys-
connection.
You used to pick berries.
I pick berries
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
remember,
I
I'm
pick berries for
still-
sure.
I'm still here, aren't I?
No.
What do you think, Dan?
No, the only berries I had was in my Captain Crunch. I don't fuck with that
Yeah.
shit.
But anyways, today on the news, so they found this kid. 30. They're like, oh yeah, he wandered off a great distance, which to me is surprising for a 4-year-old, and couldn't hear the calls of his parents. But then what? Like again, it was just in the back of my mind. I wasn't really listening. And then it goes like, yeah, the family said that they were out picking berries, and then all of a sudden they turned around. And I was like, motherfucker, man, missing 411 always talks about the
Fucking
fucking berry picking.
Cop out.
I don't know
buddy.
why.
It's a cop
I
out.
don't
That's
know
why all
why.
these shitty parents don't watch their kids, and they're like, well, you know, he was out picking fucking berries. I don't know. He disappeared.
Well, no, they were picking berries with him. They were all picking
weird.
berries. And
Was it
then
like, wait, so this was in a park or a forest or like what?
in the forest.
What you
so
just pick berries? Is that a thing? Like, what?
Yeah, it's
Someone's
a
gotta
thing.
pick the
Well,
berries.
it's a little bit of a thing. I pick.
How do you know what
blackberries.
berries that are okay to eat?
You just try them all.
You just start tasting them.
No, listen. I watched that fucking commercial. I don't know how many times. Don't you put it in your mouth.
Don't
Till you
you
ask
put
somebody
it
you
in your
love.
mouth. Don't
Tell
you
that
put
guy
it in your
that
mouth.
ate his
Till
dick.
you ask someone.
Yeah.
You love. Till you ask someone. You could get sick.
If you eat your
Ick.
dick.
Real quick.
Oh, Dan!
Oh.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, that was good.
That was great.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I want to look more. I'm hoping they release more details about that, because to me, I'm like a 4-year-old. I know 4-year-olds can move, and parents would be like, oh, they go crazy. But I'm like, in the woods, a 4-year-old wanders off,
Look at
and
it.
I'm just saying, like, you're yelling and shit. Like, a kid's gonna hear, like, how fucking long were you had your fucking head in the berry bush before you realized your kid was gone?
Yeah, it's
To the point where he's missing for 30 hours. Overnight for one night.
they
Like, that's-
obviously ate the wrong berries. Like, fuck.
Are you sure they weren't
I'm sure
mushroom
they were,
picking?
maybe they were mushroom picking.
Yeah.
Mushroom picking.
But interesting. I was kind of keeping my eyes on that one as that develops. I was gonna message David Politis and be like, "Hey, check out this berry picking. Maybe this will
At
make your
his-
next book."
At his position as the head Bigfoot, he's the head of some Bigfoot organization.
I don't think he is anymore. I think he just says the
Is-
missing 401 books.
He probably doesn't have to do the
He never
Bigfoot one.
says in the books that it's Bigfoot.
But
just
he
says,
implies.
He implies.
He implies by saying, "Don't go in the woods alone. Something's taking people." That's
And
what he
that's,
said.
that's why I don't
That's
go
even
camping.
worse. That's even worse.
That's why I don't camp.
Next year we're going camping. We're gonna have a big ATT camp trip maybe.
Oh yeah, yeah. All the OG's gonna be there.
Oh geez.
Yeah. I was gonna make a joke today when we were gonna start talking about 5G, and I was gonna say Andrew is gonna look unimpressed because the only 5G he's into is Five Guys burgers and fries.
Pretty much. It's true. After doing any research on that, I was trying to dust off my old flip phone. I don't want this fucking shit anymore.
Those are actually worse.
What? Really?
They have more yeah. They were
In
worse.
terms of radiation.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, never mind then. I'm just gonna start sending people smoke signals.
I mean, they're worse in terms of more harmless radiation. Like,
Yeah, that's touche. Touche.
It's not harmless. Just search Google right now. Cell phone brain cancer link.
No.
of course it's gonna pop up. That's because Google's algorithm is.
Do we want to get into this now, or
No.
should we save it for the fucking?
I just
actual
totally
pod-
disagree that it's just like lead paints, cigarettes, and anything else there was not really any good science for about 20 years, and then you look back like, we made a mistake.
I don't know.
But
There is long-term studies done on non-ionizing fucking radiation.
But not on the
That's been
not, not on the level
been
that we
around for
get.
50 years.
Yeah,
I would hope
like-
so.
Exactly. Like,
Well, what else is
We didn't really. I was reading that we didn't really start studying that stuff till Chernobyl.
You mean ionizing radiation?
Well, like the effects of it, like where they're like, oh, maybe this is harmful, like non-heating radiation.
I think you would have seen it. Like,
well, there's
it would-
been no fucking gigantic spike in brain cancer since the fucking in any increase in 2G, 3G, 4G, and now 5G.
has there been no increase in cancer at all though?
Well, but that's just in general. That's lifestyle-wise, cancer's been increasing due to shitty food.
lifespan's been increasing, so cancer rates also increase.
Ooh, that was good.
Well, but early onset cancer, I bet you those are increasing.
Could this be the first case file that me and Dan agree on? This is going to be.
Ooh,
good.
I don't know.
I'm excited.
It's 'cause
We'll
science is
do
silent.
5G, and then in 20 years we'll have a
shoulders.
second part.
We have to save that for a full case file.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put the kibosh on it.
Okay. Yeah.
Preview. Ah.
All right. So nuking Mars. Let's get back to that. So
Skip back.
Sounds like
lots-
it's
Nuking Mars.
well, my thing is, I'm like,
Gotta nuke something, right?
Why does anyone give a fuck? There's so many people like, you can't nuke it because then we can never live on it. I'm like, we're not living on it now. Fuck, like,
I don't.
there's a chance
Yeah.
we never live on it.
I think people get a real. I think I want to say that atomic weapons get a really bad rap, in the fact that like the atomic weapons that people are thinking about are like the world-ending ones or relatively dirty ones, but the ones that we have now are, I guess, like relatively cleaner.
Yeah, clean bombs.
Clean nuclear bombs, like a hydrogen bomb. Like if you set off like a hydrogen bomb, there's less fallout than the ones that they used like in Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Right.
So you have like kind of clean bombs. So if you're going to use something like that to nuke Mars, yeah, we could still live on it. You just wouldn't be like throw up a bunch of nuclear fallout all over the place. And plus, it's Mars. It's already fucked. Like,
Yeah, like who gives a fuck? If we go there, we gotta live in suits anyways, and like fucking domes.
not even like you have to live in suits underground, in domes, underground.
Yeah, like so, like fucking nuke it. Let's see what happens.
And now, why do they want to nuke it? They want to nuke Mars to jumpstart an atmosphere or something? Or?
Oh, they want to warm it. Like the theory goes, like if we nuke the ice caps that are on the north and south poles of Mars, then it would release the trapped methane. Like technically, what's happening now with climate change, well, a melting of our glaciers,
Yeah.
like the melting of our polar ice caps is releasing methane into the air. And if we did that on Mars, the same thing, but except we did it with nukes instead of greenhouse gases or whatever. Then it would speed up like the warming of Mars, because Mars is freezing cold. Mars is very cold.
Well, they have daytime highs of like 20, but then nighttime lows of like minus 100.
Yeah, so you could jumpstart like some sort of atmosphere or something like
and
that.
this is Elon's idea.
This has just been talked about.
Well, I think
like,
it's-
yeah,
Is Elon
just a
campaigning for
proponent.
this? Is this his?
Yeah, he's on board with it.
Yeah,
like,
no,
he's-
see, we all already know Elon's a fucking alien.
100%.
Okay.
He's an alien. 100%.
And what happens if there's some secret fucking aliens that live on this planet on Mars, and he's got some fucking beef with them, and that's what he's trying to convince us to do? I don't trust it.
He's trying to use the population to nuke Mars because he has a beef with the Mars
Yeah,
aliens.
he's something he knows.
the
he
Martians.
knows
You guys ever seen Mars Attacks?
exactly.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Don't fuck
Ack,
with the
ack.
Martians.
Ack all the way, baby.
Man.
Mars ambassador. Here we got a question from the Little Red Pig. Yeah, my husband wants to know about the real Men in Black. He's requested I write you this comment.
No comment from me. I'm not saying a fucking word.
Yeah. What you think you saw, you did not see.
I just put that together real quick after you said that.
I'm not saying anything.
Lots of people, I guess, say like after, weird sightings of UFOs and stuff, they get visited by men in black suits. Some report them to have translucent skin with red lipstick.
Doing coin tricks.
Yeah,
Andrew, jump in at any time.
No, I'm good. I heard you translucent, and I got a little bit scared. My butthole kind of squeezed a little bit. I was like, "Don't say it.
Don't do it.
Don't say it."
But they definitely go and they'll give people a hard time. Say, you didn't see that. Try to discredit them right there. Make them, fearful to tell their story anymore. There's widespread reports of that. How much of it is you know what though, like you got to think that if there's some kind of sighting out there, like if right now I went and had a sighting and I was like, holy shit, so caught something on my camera, a bunch of other people in my city saw it, and I'm like, I'm on the news tomorrow and I'm like, I fucking saw it, I seen it. I think there'd be a knock on my doors and be like, yeah, I want to know what you saw, tell us.
Nah, you wouldn't have been able to say that because you would have got neuralized.
Oh yeah, but they want to know first, right? So they get pressured. A lot of people report them after UFO sightings. Basically, I think that's the number one thing.
Has there been any recent sightings, like in the last 10 years, of these guys? I feel like everything's been like.
You know what my take on the Men in Black is? I think the Men in Black story has been fabricated. I bet if there was like an actual group of people trying to keep the stuff hush, they were just people, and then through like the hysteria of the media, they became like maybe these alien people who came and like they're working with the government to cover it up. But I think if it was just like an alphabet agency that only operated for like 20 years or something, like around Blue Book or something, all the stories got morphed into like they were turned and now they're like alien Men in Black, or they're mysterious, but really they're just like FBI agents, but not FBI.
Yeah. It's fucking Mulder and Scully. Like you got to think we know the government studies UFOs. So if you're going to sit there and say that if you have a UFO sighting and you're reporting this shit, that you're not going to get visited by some sort of agency that's trying to either knows about it or they got it. I'm sure they only go to ones where they have radar stuff backing up the sightings from their end. You know what I mean? If it's just like fucking Joe Blow out in the woods, like, I seen it. What
if
like he's not getting visited?
Somebody that you know what I mean? Like one person that had an alien encounter, and then right after that they had the Jehovah's Witness to come knock on their door, and it's just like a fucking long telephone game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. They just had a really weird conversation because he was still stuck, and he's like, huh? You heard the good news?
Well, because he's probably stoned to begin with, because that's why he saw aliens.
Oh. Hey, you don't have to be stoned to see aliens.
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Get real. You never even smoked weed. You don't know what you're talking about.
We got another one. I don't know what this is. Preston said, what about them testing out that EM engine?
Oh, the EM drive.
Dan?
That's the impossible engine.
Oh, how is it impossible? Doesn't sound like it's impossible if they're testing it.
It's like a 0-point energy, claims to be like a 0-point energy, like free energy device that travels infinite through space with no like input energy.
Is that like the solar?
No, the solar is like actually like it's pulled actually by the wind and slowly accelerates. But the EM drive was, I don't really have it in front of me, but it was like defying laws of physics by like some type of like weird like vibration in between two membranes that propelled it forward. But if
I can't remember, it's the way that it works is that it's impossible impossible. It's not able to be tested reliably on Earth, because it only the reactions or the way that it works is that it can only work in space because the acceleration is so minuscule, I think, or something like that.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, you're pretty much right, Dan.
Yeah.
It's like electromagnetic waves vibrating between these membranes in deep space to like generate a thrust. So kind of like solar wind, but not. It's actually just harnessing invisible waves, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right.
So I got one episode. One says EM drive doesn't seem to work after all by new scientists, and then there's more that say impossible engine does. It may really be possible. So I don't know. Well,
yeah, I think they have to test it in space. Like they haven't tested it in space because that's the only way where it would theoretically work. Because like gravity and kind of interference on Earth, like our own electromagnetic field on Earth kind of messes with it, so it doesn't work exactly how it's supposed to work.
yeah.
So they have to take it out into space for it to actually work. And I think they did some tests where they're like, this could possibly. I think they said that it might be possible because they had better, they had better. What's the word? Can't remember off the top of my head. They had better measuring tools to be able to do it. Like their fuck, what's it called?
I don't know. Hashtag Dan doesn't
explain.
know one time.
This is
We got another question. Julia Wilson, what's your fellas' take on the Jersey Devil?
I hate the hockey team.
Yeah. Devils!
Fucking Devils.
Great Seinfeld episode. That's all I know.
Is that? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's
I don't know much about the Jersey Devil. Like a lot of sightings. Any of you have it open? What's the physical descriptions of it? Zell, pull up a picture. I want to see what do people think it looks like?
It's
I'll
a
pull up a
creepy, weird, like two-legged thing with like the horse, like the head of a horse and like bat wings and
Like little bat wings or big bat wings?
Big bat wings. Like it flies. It flies.
Oh, that is weird.
And it lives in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey, and it's apparently the product of a woman who had too many kids, and she said, "If I have the next one, it's either the devil can take him or it'll be a devil."
Do you want to see a cheesy rendition picture, a cartoon picture, or just the coolest one I can find?
Coolest one you can find.
Coolest one I can find. Okay.
Jersey Devil fan art.
Yeah, this one's actually pretty fucking cool, to be honest.
Yeah, let's see it.
See, I get full screen. Okay, what do we got here? See that?
Yeah.
Well, he took his head off. I think he's got his head off on his, or is it off?
Yeah, that's
I can't tell if his head is like off or is he just leaning weird in that
No,
picture.
he's leaning.
I think
He's got a long neck. He looks like a camel, kind of.
It's kind of like reminds me of a picture of like a Jabberwocky or something from the.
I'm just saying,
poem.
New Jersey's pretty populated area.
Not the Pine Barrens.
Not the Pine Barrens?
No, not where that's reported to be. The Pine Barrens are like a long stretch of just unbroken forest.
Really? Okay, then
Yep.
anything's possible, man.
I don't know.
It's fucking in there, 100%.
Here's I'm gonna find a picture. This is one that was caught on. Yeah. Okay, caught on camera. Let's see what it looks like. All right, pull it up. Where the fuck is it? See that?
Oh, that is fucking spooky looking though.
Can I zoom in?
Oh, fuck
Oh,
that.
that's fucking
man.
creepy looking.
Oh,
Ew.
I mean,
I don't know. It's pretty creepy.
Could be a bar.
That
No,
does
that's
not
It
look
looks
like a
like
fucking
it's got
bear.
little wings on its back though. It looks like.
yeah.
That's no.
No, I think
That's a little trash bag from when it was going through the garbage.
They're
be.
not big enough to be the big old
That's
bat wings
creepy.
that they.
That's creepy.
It is creepy looking.
It is pretty creepy.
I mean, I wouldn't want to run whatever that is. I wouldn't want to run into it at night.
Listen,
in
the woods, like there's even in Canada and stuff, like where I'm living on the island now, the woods are so thick. Anything could be in there, man.
And
Like,
so much unexplored.
Yeah,
So much.
like it's you know what? I'm just saying there's creepy shit all over the place, and flush it out. Let's fucking chop down the forest till we find it.
That's always my biggest argument for Bigfoot. I'm like, okay, maybe Bigfoot is mistaken 99% of the time, but there's some people who like legit like have there's avid hunters or avid bushmen. Like I fucking I seen a fucking Bigfoot. Wasn't a bear. Wasn't this. Wasn't that. It's clear as day. They tell their stories, but you never actually
seen them.
I fucking seen them.
the Bigfoot.
But
I've seen the big feet.
if you think about it, isn't like 99% of the population of Canada is within like an hour of the border or 2 hours?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The rest is just
I've seen
woods
it.
The rest is
and
just
prairies.
woods and mountains and lakes and tundra.
And Jersey Devils. Big feet.
Cousin of Bigfoot, maybe.
The Bigfoots. Big feets.
Big feets.
And the
Sasquatch eye.
pogos. Don't
Sasquatch
forget all
eye.
the pogos.
Oh, fucking so many pogos.
So many pogos. There's a pogo in every lake in North America almost.
Okay. Pogo for every lake in Canada.
That's because there's a giant underground cavern system connecting all the lakes
Old people.
with the ocean, and then these things
Fish
come
people.
freely in and out, and they're having migratory patterns. Some people go deep.
That's insane.
We could travel North America looking for pogos if we wanted to.
We could.
That could be our job.
We could be the lake monster hunters.
Lake monster hunters.
We could.
I can't swim.
do
though.
it.
I don't know.
Good idea.
Yeah, you could be our guy on the dock. Don't see it. Can't see it from here.
It sounds like a perfect job for me.
You're just always on the land with the radio, like, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Radio check.
Andrew, what do you see? Still nothing.
Yeah, how's the shore look, Andrew?
No.
Pretty
nothing.
good. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's a wave. It's all good.
That would be scary enough for me.
Let's just fucking do it, boys. Lake monster hunters.
Okay, let's do it. Sign me up.
Let's do it. All right.
Now that we know John's not BSing because he told us that Edge was coming back months before Edge came back, and I was like, Edge isn't coming back.
Edge isn't coming back. He's
got a broken
retired.
fucking neck. And then Edge is coming back, and I'm like, holy fuck, he knew.
Maybe he did know John Cena.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Got no reason to not believe him now.
It's true. Inside tales cannot be public. But any other questions on that YouTube stream there?
Yeah, someone asked, what is this? Any plans to come down to Utah and check out Skinwalker Ranch? I don't, probably not now that they're filming that new fucking what's that series with Tim Taylor or whatever the fuck his name is.
Oh, I don't.
Tim,
What was that?
Like the Tool Man?
Taylor.
The fucking
Like-
Tool Man?
It's
Not-
the
not
guy
the Tool
from
Man.
Ancient Aliens. They're filming there now.
No, they already filmed it. It's already done.
Oh, is it done? That's it. One season. They're not going to drag it out for 35 seasons.
I don't think that.
How did they get the budget to fucking wheel the Tool Man?
Tool Man.
Jesus.
It's the Texas physicist guy.
Yeah, it's Taylor. So Travis Taylor. Travis Taylor. That's
Yeah,
it.
Travis Taylor.
Oh, fuck. I don't want to let you know.
I would love to go. I mean, why? Like, I wish we could go camping there. Or do something like even close by and then go check it out. But listen, I'm not down to go on tours and like be part of these fucking ghost tours. Oh, weird. Okay, I got a weird experience.
All right.
Can't say why. I was driving today in work in a work vehicle. You guys don't know. This is why it's weird.
Okay.
Driving through Courtney, and I stop at a red light, and there's this guy, and he comes out and he puts this sign down that just says readings. And then he's standing there looking at me. He's just standing there. Totally forgot about this. He's standing there. So I'm looking at him, and he just points at me. So I roll down my window, and he goes, "Hey, you should come in for a reading." And I went, "Yeah, I'm good, man." He goes, No. I can tell you'd like it. He's like, "You're exactly the kind of guy that would be into this.
Were
Like, you should 100% come in." I'm like, I am the kind of guy that's into this. And he's like, and then he goes, "I know." And he goes, "You should come check it out. Trust me, I got a feeling." And I went, "Ooh." I said, "Maybe later." I never went back. I was just scared. Isn't that weird, though?
And then you drove past, and the next car
he
pulled
said
up,
the
and he did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Wait, what kind of reading? The Scientology?
It just said reading. Just said reading.
You're the fifth guy that I've met today. That's
Oh, maybe he was just had reading lessons.
You look like the kind of guy. You look like the kind of guy.
He saw me squinting at the road signs. What does that say?
He saw you sounding it out like one at a time. Just like
Yeah.
Re-adding? Re-adding?
Turd. Oh, Third. Okay, Third Avenue.
Yeah.
oh, was it something like
Blimp UFO Fuck, I'm stupid.
What?
Photograph.
Can you hear it?
No, I can't hear anything. What are you playing?
Photograph.
You can't hear that?
No.
I can hear it. It's hilarious.
Okay, Blimp UFO Photograph.
I just played your photography.
I don't hear it either.
I can hear it.
I just played your photography thing.
Someone asked, David Eckley asked, have y'all thought about having more guests on? There's a guy who's been on Higher Side Chats who's pretty insightful on the topic. He's on Twitter.
On
Yeah, we
what
do want to
topic?
have more guests.
What topic?
It's
What
just-
topic are we talking
What topic
about?
are we talking about?
Oh, what?
What topic what's he
Yeah.
insightful in?
I don't know. It just
He just said, are we thinking of having more guests on?
Huh.
I would say like we've just been perfecting our show right now. Like we're not opposed to having guests. Two problems with our show and having guests. One, we don't plan far enough ahead for anyone. It's really hard because when we talk to people, they plan their podcasts
Yeah.
and stuff
don't know how they do it.
months and months in advance. And as soon as we go off air, we are going to plan next week's. We
Yeah.
kind of have an idea what we're going to talk about, but we're going to plan next week's right now. And if something else comes up cooler within the next 7 days, we will 100% change it up.
Yep.
So it's
That's
really hard to
Exactly
line
what
up.
happens every time.
It's really hard to line up because people will be like, "Oh yeah, I'll come on the show. How you guys looking for February 2020?" We're like,
Who?
I don't know. Hopefully I'm alive.
The giant meteor doesn't hit Earth.
Hopefully this
I don't
is
know.
still going. So that's one reason it's really hard. Two, it's just I don't know. It's hard to. We have too many people to have a guest on, so we got to limit the amount of people that are on. And then
Yeah, you can't
I
have
think
5
once-
people on a podcast.
No.
I wonder who's going to get cut for those.
Dan, I guess.
Yeah.
Where's it?
I
This guy.
I have no idea who.
Oh, there you have it, guess.
Yeah.
We have some guests on. We're gonna lose one member.
We can just cut
This
you
guy.
from this one right now.
Let's cut him. That's funny.
The other thing is, now that we're getting into the live streaming and stuff, we're perfecting the show right now. We're getting it to a spot where it's nice and how we like it, and then we'll have more guests on. We want to have Freddie Silva on again. There's a couple of guests that we met at AlienCon that we want to have on.
For sure. Do some more some like what do you call them, like co-streams with other podcasts or something, stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. 100%. It's coming. Once
Um,
now that I'm off Streamlabs, back on the old faithful OBS.
Oh, faithful.
workhorse.
So what?
More questions?
Oh, Brittany Weidman had a question. I didn't see it though. Question: if you get to it, I posted on Facebook. Oh, where did the Epstein case file go? I think it releases this Friday. You're just listening to this one live, which is going to release next Friday.
No, the Epstein case file is done. I was going to put it out for Patreon today, but I forgot, so
Oh.
it'll be tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. So it'll be out soon. But if you're not on Patreon, it'll be out Friday, right?
Yeah, Thursday or Friday.
Yeah. Thursday or Friday. So we're talking about we're just jumping the gun here. You're getting to watch a little early. You're looking into the nucleus that is ATT.
That is the failure that is ATT live stream.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Any future episodes on nuclear war?
I hope it,
Probably.
Yeah. I guess time will tell.
yeah, we're looking closer and closer, aren't we, all the time again?
Yeah.
Well, at least that's why they push the narrative in the international news, at least.
Nobody's gonna nuke anything.
No one's nuking.
Oh, I don't think so.
We're past past that fucking time of blatant psychopathy, and now we're into like the shadow guys who do it all
Yeah.
behind the scenes.
This.
I'd be more worried about electronic warfare. I'd be more worried about like
Cyber warfare stuff, yeah.
cyber. Yeah.
Especially what we're going to talk about next week is the 5G potential for cyber warfare, when everything is connected to a network and everything revolves around communicating with like another piece of digital device. Whew! Can only imagine.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to get into it.
Not right now. That's gonna be a good one.
Okay. Hold on. Where did let's see what else we got. Between the four of you, who would win in a good old fashioned beatdown?
Depends. Are we using weapons? Or...
I don't know. I'm Zell. Zell, dude. Zell has this primal dad range.
Well, look at it. He's got nothing to lose. Look at it. He's not worried about losing his teeth.
He's honestly
Teeth's fucking gone.
He can get this next level. I've only seen it a couple times in my life, but it's a next level like primal dad, just bloodlust.
It's not a dad thing.
Absolute
It's
bloodlust.
just
He's got that kill factor of like I'll kill him. I'll do the time. I'll kill him.
I've been there. I've seen it.
Me, Andrew, huge pussies.
the only
Dan's a
time
wild card. Dan's a wild card because we haven't like.
I don't really
we're
know
all
how
fucking
Dan
but
operates.
we talk over the internet. I haven't got a scene like we've been in Thailand. Dan always keeps his cool. when we've been in kind of sketchy situations in Thailand, but like I've never seen that kill factor. But I'm just saying, okay, if there was a beatdown, the three of us would have to team up on fucking Zell.
I'm not a very strong person though. You guys are fucking powerlifters, so
Yeah, but the thing is,
Hey, listen, if we're talking like in a ring or something like that, I'd fucking smash you guys.
Yeah,
But
with
real
rules,
life,
yeah.
and there's no rules, and it's like I don't want to get.
I feel like Zell would just pull my jaw off.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're not gonna play by the rules, man.
No.
MMA.
Zell plays for keeps.
To put it in.
Yeah,
Zell plays for keeps.
You know, I just read Ender's Game for the first time.
yeah.
He just wins.
you're Ender.
He just wins thoroughly.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's your.
No,
It's,
I've only seen Zell lose once, and it was from a sucker punch. And then immediately following that, Zell's like, I wonder how fast I can go home and get my gun and shoot that guy.
I was just
And he
drunk,
was serious.
spitballing.
No, you were
I was
terrifying.
he had a huge concussion.
Yeah.
Huge concussion.
Pupils were like little fucking pinholes when he said
I was
that.
max level hammered, and then got suckied.
Yeah.
And then I don't even know who I was at that point.
Oh, fuck, you were mad.
I was definitely mad. It was a beyond suckies.
Second time I've seen you that mad is when somebody called you Mr. Potato Head and you fucking packed his lunch.
Yeah, you did pack his lunch.
I felt
packed that guy's fucking
that time
lunch.
thinking back, I was like, it wasn't that bad. He didn't deserve it. But you know,
You don't think?
things happen when you're was it
That's what I'm
21,
saying. If
22?
it comes down to it, like if it's on any kind of like even one-on-one tournament style between the four of us, Zell's champion.
Like to the death, Zell wins.
champion, 100%.
MMA, Andrew wins.
That's because
No.
there's a ring and
No.
rules.
Yeah, but
No.
if it's a ruled fight, Andrew would just fucking smash us to the ground, wrestling style, probably. Strength-wise.
I'd box the shit out of you.
Both, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I've seen the Muffin Man over here. Where am I pointing at him? I'm not worried about him. Fucking Muffin.
He's the fucking Hulk, man. He's the fucking Hulk.
Got
Look
his
at him.
Hulkamania shirt on.
Without his leg drop, he ain't shit.
Hey, did you buy a pack? Hey, Braden, did you buy a pack of
But
100 of
he'll go
those?
to the Hulkamania rage.
Where's your fake? Where's your fake belt? Fucking paper champ. Bring it out.
Yeah, he's got the belt.
He's nothing but a paper champ.
Hey, Braden, rip the shirt. Rip
yeah,
the shirt.
come on.
Money in the bank.
I'll put the belt on the line.
Hey, bring it.
I'm still waiting for
Not
that.
against Zell.
I'm still waiting for you and Conspiracy's wrestling match from a long time ago. You guys were supposed to have a
that
wrestling
old
match.
bet?
Yeah,
That old bet we had?
supposed to be a wrestling match at Andrew's uncle's ring.
The other problem is we can't use that ring anymore.
No, can't use the
So-
ring, but we got to
We don't
find a
need a
different
ring.
ring.
Story is,
Buddy,
we had
no rules.
we had
Street
a
fight.
bet. We had a bet. We should follow through with that bet because I won it, so I should really push that envelope.
I can't remember what it was.
We had a
but
bet. I can't remember what we bet on, but the winner, we were both 100% sure, which he was 100% wrong, obviously. And then we had this bet that the winner, whoever wins, we're going to invite all our friends to a wrestling match that we were going to choreograph, except one of us was going to be the good guy and one of us was going to get just all the moves done to you and have to look like a huge win.
Well, obviously he's the heel. Like he's gonna.
he's
get
the
it.
heel, has to.
Yeah.
I kind of miss him being the heel because now I just look worse. You know what I mean? When he's around, it makes me look fucking great.
People have been asking about Mr. Conspiracy. Where's he
bring him
been?
back.
Where's he been? He's been working somewhere.
Yeah, he's out in the Toronto area. You can follow him on Instagram, Mr.Conspiracy, ATT. No affiliation with this show. Anyone can make that their tag. So we do not condone his actions. Anyways, the other one, they reopened the Dyatlov Pass. Had you guys heard about this? Yeah, we did. I haven't heard any real updates
no
after
news,
they let everyone know.
I know they said they were gonna open it back up, but I haven't heard anything substantial come back through. Other than I think I was more like that. Most people were like, "This is crazy! Like the case is so old, and that area is so remote. Like if you go out there, so much stuff will have changed by the time you get there. It's really difficult to kind of go through all that stuff again." But they may open it up again. I haven't heard
Open
anything.
up the case. Like,
Yeah.
are we talking about they're gonna put in a fucking Bigfoot amusement park and try and sell some fucking
Nasty.
thing?
El
Yeah.
Nasty.
El Nasty.
Is this? I found a website about it. It's called the Moscow Times. Is this real?
The Moscow
It's
Times?
in English, so it doesn't seem like it should be real. Here it is.
Is that a real? That's a real,
Russian
I think the Moscow
investigators are
Times is an
reopening
actual-
the Dyatlov Pass case, but what is it? February 14th, 2019.
Yeah, they're just telling you what it is. Like
Is that
what
the,
happened.
they're in
Independent
reopening
news.
though. Reopening.
Yeah, they're just gonna reopen it, I guess. But
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how much information. I mean,
there's no conclusions.
Close it.
Russia
Closed.
during the Cold War was pretty closed, and now Russia is even more closed. Like I don't know what would come out of it.
No, I think that's all just smoke. There's nothing. There's
I
nothing
think they're
to
probably putting out
reopen
a new
unless
movie
they
or
kept
documentary.
everything and all the skeletal remains and stuff. There's nothing to see here.
Unless they
Close that.
found something in like the Russian Smithsonian freeze dried in the basement, and they're like, "Oh shit, that's, you know, that's part of
This
the
is a
Yeti."
good one. Someone wants us to do a case file on near-death experiences.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. It's a very interesting.
Near
topic.
we should do near death and also like afterlife. What's the people who like die on the table and then
And-
they have
oh,
those
they come
wicked
back,
visions when they come.
Flatliners.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's a movie.
That would be a cool one.
Flatliners.
Yeah.
That's a movie
Yeah.
It's a movie.
on Netflix.
Shade
I wanna
on
say it's
Vito.
Well, there's a remake of it, but watch the original. The original's way better.
Oh, put it on the
Shade
list.
on Vito wants to know if a maester's a real thing. Well, we just keep saying maester. It's masters. So Dan is accredited. He has a master's degree in education. So he is a master's of education. And the joke started because he was pissed off because he was saying it's bullshit that people get their doctorates and then they get to be called doctor. And I got my master and no one calls me anything. I should be called a master. And I was like, yeah, we can make that happen.
Maester.
Maester.
There was actually a 5-minute talk there where we were just going to do this whole power hour of how many different ways we could sing Maester Daniel into popular songs.
I'll just start pulling up like cues. Just start
I
singing.
know,
was
because-
working as a teacher down in Thailand. That's where I met Dan.
Well, I looked about it.
Maester
And-
Daniel.
I wanted to know why
Learning
again
all
the
the
past.
knowledge
you had people
and
called-
keeping all the secrets, Dan. Maester Daniel.
Keep going.
That went for a way longer than I was anticipating.
Well, I had to get to the chorus.
Yeah, it was good.
No, I looked it up because I wanted to know why people like in the past you'd address a person as Master Orenson or Master whatever, because that's a real way that the people used to address.
That's a lot of
other.
it. There's a lot in the legal system, like in the British like the
Well,
common law and stuff.
The reason is that because a master was technically a person who was a master of their craft. So you were a member of a guild or like a trade union or something who was a master of whatever. And so in order to gain master status, you had to go before like a council or an assembly of masters, and you had to present a piece of work that would prove that your mastery of whatever your skill or your subject. So that was your masterpiece. So that's also where the word masterpiece comes from.
Makes sense.
So
Fancy.
so technically I have done like my master's thesis, which would technically be my masterpiece. So now you could address me, and now I have a master's degree, so that makes me a master, or I should be addressed as master.
Cool.
Brittany Weidman really wants to talk to us about NDEs. Brittany, you can email us at alientheorists@gmail.com. We're never too busy. Just email us. Email us your story. We'll chat with you.
We read every story, for sure.
We do. We read every email and every response. If you're on our Discord server, we read everything. The problem is I get home at the end of the day and there'll be like 63,000 messages between Facebook, Twitter, and fucking everything. I'm just like, oh, like if you want me to respond, I say the best way on Discord, you gotta tag me in it. I'd say the same thing with one of you guys. I'm pretty good for like if you ask me a question, I will respond. Other than that, I'm always just lurking in the shadows, reading all the comments.
Yeah, we read them. If it's something just to
dropping some
Braden, I
eaves.
read it. I say, hey Braden, somebody asked you a question.
Yeah, and I do the same for Zell or, well, no one
Yeah.
asks Andrew questions.
Does Andrew even have access to Discord?
Does he?
He
Did we boot
remembers
him,
it.
did we
Like,
boot
I
him
don't
off
know.
again?
I don't remember.
You forget the password.
Do you have the Patreon thing yet, Andrew?
No, you guys never gave it to me, you fucking dicks.
We did. We
I
did.
gave you like
did.
5 times.
I wanted
We
to.
did
I wanted
twice.
to. Well,
I
maybe.
remember twice.
I've
that we
posted
gave
that
it.
thing multiple times.
I don't even know what it is. I don't even know how to do it. So I don't.
I know
I don't
twice.
fucking know. I don't know. All I know
Shit.
is there's been a few
Andrew
good
has a flip
reviews, and I've been mentioned. So
He's been mentioned. He's out of the
Hey,
doghouse,
guys,
baby.
this is
Squeaky
good.
wheel gets a
No,
grease.
Yeah,
Squeaky
good.
wheel gets a
Blood
grease.
ice.
That's right.
Yeah. If you haven't heard Dan's song, I highly recommend it. Julia Wilson. Yeah, it is fantastic.
pretty
We should
good.
sell it.
Yeah, it's good.
We'll probably make more money off Maester Daniel. I'm telling you, that's a banger.
What's fucking Purple Wizards? We're gonna be
Should we
releasing some
sell?
shirts.
Should we sell Maester Daniel on the website?
1.25 speed.
Yeah.
And it's a disco hit.
Sell Maester
Yeah.
Daniel for $1 on our website. Support the show,
All right,
Maester
well,
Daniel.
should we? What do you guys? You want? You got some more time?
Now let's wrap it up. That's
All
Power
right,
Hour.
let's wrap it up. Sorry guys, like I said, we fucked up on the 5G. The live stream took so long that
Fucked up.
Well, I
Um,
guess if we had 5G, maybe it would have worked.
Possible.
Yeah.
But then we also might have
Um,
brain cancer, apparently. So I don't
You
know.
never know.
that's just the way it is.
That's just the
anyways,
way it is.
so thank you guys for tuning in. We'll probably release this, but maybe it'll just stay here.
This
Who knows?
worked good. I thought it was pretty
Yeah,
good.
it was fun. It was a
was
fun
fun.
little hour. At least we, got the stream working, figured out how to get it going now properly. So when we do the 5G one, fucking a-okay. All right. Anything
do
else we should do at the end of this?
Yeah, I'm gonna play. I heard it when we first got it, but now I just got it back. Mongoose Files.
Fuck yeah.
Should we play it?
Song
we gonna-
fucking rips.
Are we gonna close it out with Mongoose Files?
I think so.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Well, hey, get on our Patreon, help the show out. You can start donating to us live on our new stream site, and you can find us. Shoot us messages. We love chatting with fans.
The
So,
stream site is Alien Theorists Theorizing.live, and
you can get merch. You can get hats on it.
oh,
Some
there's
awesome hats.
stitched hats. Everyone keeps craving for stitched hats. So
Yeah, order your Stitch hat
see what
from our
happens
site.
if it
and
works.
then, as we always say at the end of these things, keep those eyes on the.